Hello and welcome. My name is Peace Mitchell and I'm co-founder of Women Changing the World Press. Before we begin today, I would like to pay my respects to the traditional owners and elders of the land that I live and work on, the people of Mamu country in North Queensland. And I would also like to pay my respects to traditional owners and elders past and present right across Australia and the Torres Strait. Well, today I'm very excited to be launching our newest book, Women Living Fearlessly. This book includes the stories of 25 incredible women from all over the world. And I'm so excited to be chatting to one of my fabulous co-authors today, and that is Liz Courtney. Please join me on stage, Liz.
Hi, Peace. So lovely to see you again.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me this morning. I can't wait to have a chat with you. Where shall we start?
So I would love to begin with inviting you to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about you and the work that you do.
Well, I don't know quite where to start, but I'll try and make it quick for everyone listening. But I actually spent 20 years in the corporate sector in communications before I had a moment to take a break selling a company into the US. And I realized I wanted to do something a little different with my life. It started around when I had my first son, Dakota, and I thought I really wanted to work in film. I wanted to do something more in communications with picture. And so I set up a small production company, and I started that over 10 years ago, about 15 years ago, actually. And from that came a few projects that tended to build until I had this sliding door opportunity in my life to go to Antarctica. And I ended up moving into the climate sector, and I've made about 55 documentaries now. And I am absolutely passionate about awareness and education on climate because I'm so motivated for not just my children, but all future generations, because I feel that it's really our responsibility to be doing what we can to give them a better world in the future. So that's a little bit about me.
Incredible work that you're doing, Liz. Now, your chapter was called Changing Shoes, Changing Worlds, from working in stilettos to snow boots. Can you tell us why you chose that title?
Well, it was something really personal to me because when I was in the corporate world, I thought my life was stilettos, boardroom, walking the floors in advertising, and pretty snazzy outfits that we were wearing in those days. But when I came to make a big series on climate change and I had to put on boots, I was on the Greenland ice sheet for over a month, I remembered feeling that I was really alive. I felt that I'd found myself for the first time and that I'd really found who I was, which was such an adventurous spirit, which I had no idea was buried deep inside me. And so my stilettos went away, and I love kind of being authentic about who I am, wearing my boots and being out there, whether it's in Antarctica or whether it's in the North Pole. I really found my place. And I thought, I've gone from stilettos to snow boots, and I love it. So that was my title.
I love that so much. Such a great title. In your chapter, you say, some people dream and wake up from their dreams. Other people dream and make their dreams a reality. And you truly are a wonderful example of this. Can you tell us a bit more about this quote?
That quote is incredibly special to me and within my heart. In 2010, I actually had my sliding door moment in film where I got asked to direct something in Antarctica. And my first response was no. And I used all those kind of mother reasons why I shouldn't go, 3 children, who's going to do the lunchbox, who's going to do the school runs, all of that. But I actually realized when I looked in the mirror later, and I might say my children and my husband were like, are you crazy? Why are you not going? And I was like, looking in the mirror, and I realized that it was actually my fear. So I thought you can either define your life through fear, or you can define your life as you want to live it. And so I did go on this expedition with 40 teenagers from around the world. It was a United Nations Year of Youth. We did have some pretty big seas to deal with on the way back. But I remember asking one of the young people from Australia who came, and he was the first Indigenous boy to come to us to Antarctica. And I said to him, Malcolm, what did you learn by coming on this expedition? And he said, I really thought about it. And there are some people who dream and wake up from their dreams. And there are other people who dream, but they make those dreams their reality. And I was so blown away by this 21-year-old sharing this with me. I've always carried it within my heart because it reminds me that when we do dream and we stay true to our thoughts, our voice, and our life compass, then we can make our dreams our reality. And that was something I really wanted to share in the book.
I love that so much. It's just such a powerful quote that you shared, and it's so true. You say in your chapter, when you have an opportunity, take it, because we don't know when it will ever come back to us. Can you tell us about this?
Yes, it's something that I really stress to people. We have lots of sliding door moments in our life. And I say this to my children as well. When a sliding door moment happens in your life, usually the reason you don't step through it is because you have some fear inside, or you might doubt yourself or think, am I worthy of it? Do I have the right skill set? Can I do it? I remember when I was younger, I was given an opportunity to be a managing director very early in my life. And I actually remember thinking, I can either sink or swim. Let's go see if I can swim. And that started my own life of learning about sliding door moments. But when I was given that opportunity to go to Antarctica, my first reaction was fear. I had seen that film, A Perfect Storm, only a few weeks before. And if anyone's seen that, it's literally the worst sea in the world with boats bouncing around in. And I thought that would be me. But I realized again, it was my fear that was saying no. But I actually looked into it and I went, if I'm going to define again my life by thinking through fear, then I'm not ever going to know what I could experience. And I said yes, and I went. And it was the same thing when I was looking to raise money to do the Tipping Point series, which is a big series, 6 1 hours. And I got a lot of no's from people here in Australia who thought the series was too big. And I had too bigger dreams and too bigger visions. But I actually thought that no gave me the rocket fuel to jump on a plane, go to Washington, D.C., knock on all the normal doors, Nat Geo, Discovery, Smithsonian, NBC, Universal, and I got 2 callbacks. And one asked me to go to Atlanta. I had no idea where that was at the time. I do now. And I jumped on a plane and I went. And I ended up getting my first very big investor within 48 hours of that trip. So my life, I've learned that take those opportunities, live fearlessly, and work through your fear, because there's always something magical on the other side.
So amazing, Liz. It really is. And such an inspiration to all of us out here who have dreams and, wanting to follow those dreams. But you talk about in your chapter the fact that friends and family aren't always supportive, that sometimes they project their fears onto you as well. So not only do you have to overcome your own fears and that voice of doubt, and the fact that you watched Perfect Storm, which I have seen, by the way, and it is terrifying, but the criticism from friends and family can be really hard to cope with. Can we talk about this? Why do you think that this happens?
Well, I think there's kind of 2 sides to that story and that reflection. The first thing is that I remembered when I was on the Greenland ice sheet and I was thousands of miles from anywhere on a dog sled, -20, but I remembered hearing this little voice inside me saying, hello. And I was like, who are you? And I was like, this is your adventurous self. And I was like, wow, I have this adventurous self inside I never knew was there. And it made me really reflect, like I met myself for the first time. And I thought, that's so interesting, because I've always defined myself by my work, how my family saw me, how my colleagues saw me, how my friends saw me. But I actually realized everybody has a projection that they throw onto you as to who they see you to be. And it's not until you be in that really quiet space on your own, having an experience, usually in nature, that you really can tap into who you are. And so coming back to that question, I think, firstly, to find out who you really are is an extraordinary opportunity, and you have to work to find that. But secondly, you have to be mindful that other people have different levels of fear. And so people will tell you things kindly or warn you about things kindly, but that's actually coming from their fear base. And so if you really want to live your life fearlessly, you have to be able to develop your own filter to say, is that their story or is that my story? And know that they're probably coming from a very kind perspective, but that's not your story, that's theirs.
Yeah, I love that. It's so true. So true. And so important to listen to that little voice inside us. I love that that voice came to you when you were on the ice sheet. And yeah, you're living this adventurous life now. And if you had have been held back by your own fears or by other people's fears and doubts, you wouldn't have got to experience all of those things that you have. There's another really beautiful quote in your chapter that I love, and it's never too late and it's never too outrageous. Can you tell us more about this?
Well, I say that because I want to really encourage everybody to know that whatever part of the journey of your life that you're in, it's never too late to be fearless. It's never too late to step through an opportunity, and it's never too late to find who you are and develop a life compass. For me, I spent 20 years firstly in corporate before I had this opportunity. I never imagined that I would dog sled across the Arctic or live in the Amazon rainforest for a month or do any of these things. If you had told me that piece like 20 years ago, I would just sort of laughed. But, you know, these opportunities came up, and I'm so glad that my fearless self found itself to actually say yes and to move through it. So I just encourage everybody to think really about the life that you're living, think about opportunities as they come, and to find your fearless self to step through those opportunities and find what's behind the doors, because it's always something quite exciting and magical, and it won't be anything that you've ever imagined it to be.
Oh, I love it so much. Thank you so much for sharing your chapter with us in Women Living Fearlessly. And thank you for chatting with me today. I've really loved talking with you more. You really are such an inspiration. And I hope that everyone who reads this book goes out and does something fearless like you did, of following your dream. It's amazing.
Thank you so much, Peace. And thank you to the whole team and Caddy, because it's what you're doing is just helping us so much all over the world to actually be the best we can.
Oh, you're so welcome. Well, thank you everybody who tuned in today. Make sure you grab your copy of Women Living Fearlessly from wcwpress.com, and we will see you all again soon. Thanks, Liz. Bye, everyone.
Bye.